Alright, y'all, this is going to be a quick overview of the build I'm using for Zariel and the powers I'm using for Zariel. So here we go. Let's start with gear. Yes, I'm using all the Lionheart stuff and Lion Guard stuff. There's just something about when you lose stamina, take 10% less damage, right? It's a great choice. Outside of that, I don't know. It's what I like to use. I'm using Bronzewood. If you notice, my defense slots are all Radiance. I'm using the embellishment set. I do have all tacticals in right now. There's some things I'm going to change still over time, but this is essentially what I'm training in. I'm using 3 of the journals for the set bonuses. I'm using Thirst as my debuff for the group, but also it's, you know, it's got power and defense and hit points on it. It's not a bad thing for a tank. Because of the recent change, I have gone Constitution and Charisma. I went Charisma just for the stat points from the Companion Influence to make sure I hit all my 90k caps. I'm running all the stat caps that are needed. My combat advantage is low, but as a tank I've never really found a need to use it, especially considering Divine Challenger and Smite, of course. If you can't use or don't have access to Lion Guard gear, you're probably going to be using a mix of the Forsaken stuff, the Infernal stuff from mod 18 and mod 19. But I would highly suggest before you go into Zariel's to go start running some ticks. Learn it. It's pretty easy. Start getting some of the gear. In a couple weeks you could have 3 pieces of it. You know, takes 4 or 5 weeks for the chest, but you could easily do it. Righty, my companions. I am using my Jello, my slime, because of the crit avoidance and deflect. Of course, all 15 bondings. If you notice, everything over here has hit points except for my gelatinous cube. I needed another 1,000 crit avoidance, and it came with 4k power, so I said why not. Using a different mix of stones on my Paladin right now. I'm using some deflection ones, some power ones, armor pen, you know, just all kinds of stuff to reach my stat caps and still maintain viable as a tank with all the hit points. I think it's all fortitude, and I think it's just all fortitude. Yeah. Oh, there's a prosperity right there. But yes, it's pretty much all fortitude. Running 3 gladiators guiles, survivor's blessing, and an artificer's persuasion. My boons, guild boons, power, hit points, revive sickness. Campaign boons, the only thing I can say, you know, you got to have the hit points. I always suggest Marathon Runner. I always suggest Companion Influence. As a tank, Focused Retaliation is the only capstone you'll ever want. I do not use a Tenebris. I use all Radiance in my defense slots. I guess I have a couple mixes. That's right. There's a Demonic I'm using to help get some of that deflecting crit avoid. No Tenebris enchants. Composure and Divine Challenger. In Zariel, you don't want to run lower threat because, well, then you mess up the other tank. I use Sacred Weapon. Flip over here. I use Sacred Weapon, but I also have it feated so that it generates extra threat, restores stamina with every strike. Absolution, damage mitigation, and of course Smite is my taunt. Always use Oath Strike as your at will. Especially in this endgame stuff where you're going to be with guys who are actually burning some super DPS. You really need that extra threat. You really need it. Radiant Slam is just there to help move around the map a little bit to get to the target and whatnot. And yeah, my dailies, I'm using Heroism for the heal and the extra hit points. At 1,000,000, that actually turns into quite a bit. Shield of Faith, which is actually what I mostly use, and that's just to help the entire party out a little bit, especially during some of the damage splash phases. But yeah, there you go. Easy. I shouldn't say easy, but very, very doable. Yes, I am using a 50k hit point mount, but I'll turn on power instead. I can do 10k power and still be over 1,000,000 hit points. So don't think you have to go buy the mount. Yes, the extra hit points are nice, and I will tell you, during my trainings, I turned on the extra hit points. It makes a difference. The higher your hit points go, of course, you can survive more, right? You can survive more. So there you go. Quick, easy, dirty breakdown of what I'm using. Gear, powers. Feel free to pause the video anywhere you want. Now keep in mind, this is what works for me. It might not work for you. You might want something totally different. You might want to change your setup in a completely different way. That's okay. That is okay. And I know that this is not an easy companion for people to get anymore. If I wasn't using my gelatinous cube, I would be using the Deep Crow, actually, because it has some good tank stats on it. So yeah, there you go, in a nutshell. I hope this helps a little bit for you guys that are up and coming to go to Zariel's. You can do it. It's totally attainable. I actually did not have to buy anything. This was all stuff that was on me. So I went straight from mod 18 to mod 19, slotted a few different companions and a different mount, and I was over 1,000,000. You can do it. You can do it. Hit point armor kits, hit points and companion influence on my gear. Totally doable.